Hello, my name is Dougal Grimes. I'm the Vice President of Inventor Relations for Spin Master, and I'm here today to play the United Inventors Association Toy Hub Trivia. Question number 1. What is Inventor Relations? Many people ask me this. First of all, it's the greatest job in the whole of the toy industry, purely because of the fact we work every day with inventors. Now, most major toy companies, they have an inventor relations arm, and the main purpose of this is for us to interact with new toy and game designers, inventors across the world. We're really the go-between between external inventors and the company. We help brief them, we help communicate, we facilitate the ideas coming in, going through the process, and then eventually looking to license their ideas so that the company can release them into the wide world. Question number 2, what is the most famous toy you have signed? I always get asked this one. So probably the most famous toy that I've signed is Pie Face. It's a game. Released in 2015, it became a huge viral sensation and a craze. And the inventor of this, Graham Thornton from the UK, he had actually shown this game around every single company, including the one I was working for at the time, and we had all passed. Now, Graham had shown huge perseverance and actually made the game himself. And then when it was released online and became a viral hit, I think the video had about 1 billion views to it. Because I had that relationship with Graham, we called him up, we ended up signing it for Hasbro at the time, and it became, I think at the time, the largest selling board game in a single year ever. So that's the most famous game that I've signed. Number 3, how can you tell a good idea from a bad idea? Okay, so the age-old adage is true. There's no such thing as a bad idea. I think it always comes down to timing and depending on what people want at that time. Of course, there's many different things that go into this. When you're looking at ideas, you're trying to figure out, is this right for the company? Is this right for our company to produce? Can we do it, on cost, on time, safely? So these kind of aspects can really make sure an idea can qualify as good. A lot of the time as well, something has to be kind of surprising or feel magical or slightly different. That's not to say things change over time, and that's why timing is very important when it comes to ideas. Sometimes something might be a bad idea, and then 8 years later it becomes the hottest idea that's ever happened. Earlier I used the example of Pie Face. At the time, a lot of people saw it and they just didn't think it was going to be a good idea. But when it was released, it became the hottest game out there. So again, timing has a lot to play with it. Question number 4, will toy companies buy an invention outright? Now, it's rare for this to happen, I would say. Most companies, especially in the toy and game industry, will look to license ideas. So that is, we will enter a contract with the inventor or the owner of the IP. We'll end up paying them royalties. To buy something completely outright does happen, but generally it revolves around something that might have a registered trademark, a registered patent, or something specifically ownable about the brand. And that means that the company is able to pay money for this and buy it outright. And a lot of the time, that will take a bit of time. Something might even be on the market before they buy the invention and own it. But it does happen. Okay, question number 5, the final question, and the most important question that everyone gets asked. What was your favorite toy growing up? So growing up in the UK, was a big fan of Kinder Egg Surprise. Now, people might know that as a chocolate, but interestingly, inside, within Europe, it has a small egg, and then inside the egg, you'll get a small toy, or when I grew up, it was like little kits that you'd put together. And I was obsessed with this as a kid. You would either get little collectibles, like little frogs and things like that, or they might be a little car that you put together. And the cool thing I really loved about this is that they would have to think about how could you get so much fun or coolness inside of that egg. And absolutely now working for a toy and game company, thinking about it for such a low price, But I was obsessed with them as a kid. You could collect them, there was a lot of play value to them. So I absolutely loved Kinder Egg Surprise. Okay, my parting advice for new inventors is remain curious, okay? And that means go out there, look at retail, look at what companies are doing, but then most importantly, stay on top of what's happening out there. Trends, movies, fashion, and everything. Because when you look at the big hits and things that really make an impact, it generally is something that is a standard play pattern, but then has layered on something that's completely new and trending and relevant. So I'd say the most important thing is really make sure you're attuned to what's going on out there. And there's so many different ways to do that with social media. So stay curious and keep inventing.